Elder Father Grigorios, Part 2, from another conversation with the elder. Humility is as necessary among other virtues as lime is necessary in the house construction. Without it, the stones will fall apart, but with it, they stand firmly. The stones are the virtues, the lime is humility, and the roof is love. We should not think that the Lord saves us because of our fasting, prostrations, vigils, and so on. No, the Lord saves us by His grace. In solitude, in one cell, it is necessary to have a small handicraft, for during the handicraft, the mind of a beginner gathers itself. But this is allowed only because of weakness or a lack of spiritual stability. Most of the Holy Fathers do not approve this and reject it, considering it better and higher to remain without handicraft and free from all concerns. One Abba said, I do not know how those who enter into silence can engage in handicraft day and night. I only go to fetch water with a pitcher, and it is not so far, seeing no one at that time. Yet even this disturbs my mind, and when I return to my cell, I cannot stand before God in the same disposition in which I was praying before. Saint David of Thessalonica says, one who lives in the desert must fortify himself with two virtues, humility and self restraint. Self restraint consists in not eating to fullness, for if you are sated, your mind becomes clouded, and you can neither read nor pray, nor grasp spiritual understanding. It is better to divide the food into two portions, and that you could eat in one meal, you should eat it in 2 meals a day, without satiation, rather than eating once to fullness. The Holy Fathers in the Patricon say that some of them did not eat for 2 days, others ate once a day. The Fathers advised as follows. Those who fast for 2 or 3 days should eat every other day. Those who eat every other day should eat daily, but in every case nobody should eat to fullness. We asked the elder, how can one stand before God in pure prayer? The elder wished to speak about a rule, but instead asked, how many people are with you? I said 4. Then the elder replied, in the presence of many, this is impossible. One must live alone and struggle in asceticism, and even then, it takes years to attain this. One may live with disciples, but should come out only once or twice a week for conversation, while spending the rest of the time in silence, not even going to the refectory. In this way, one can still make progress. Regarding receiving visitors, he said, Abba Isaac the Syrian had a spiritual brother whom he visited. This man always kept his doors locked and admitted only those who came once every 2 months or less, and only those who came for edification. But if someone came merely to pass the time, he would not let them in. For a virtuous person never has idle time. He is either reading, praying, engaging in handiwork, or resting. In short, at all times he is never idle. Regarding temptations and fears, the elder said, yes, demons often come, make noise, shout, they do anything. They even approach the door, knock and say Dievchon by the prayers. But they do not say the full prayer. Even then, I pay no attention to them whatsoever. I do not wish to endure temptations from people, and I thought of going into the desert. But now I see the devil's schemes here as well. To this the elder replied, To live in the desert, one must have deep humility and self-restraint. These prevent demons from causing trouble. Besides, even if something does happen, the Lord does not permit anything beyond one's strength. In short, no matter what the demons do, one must pay them no attention. Regarding those who insult others, the elder said, one must love, yes, love one's enemies, those who revile, insult, slander, and do evil. One must endure everything from them and still love them again. For we have the commandment to love our neighbor. When we pray, we ask the Lord, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And this the elder shared an example from his own life. A certain worldly man, prone to anger, came to me hoping to curb his temperament and serve the Lord in monasticism. He lived with me for 2 months, but he could not restrain his anger for even a single day, such anger as I had never seen before. No matter how much I counseled him or how patiently I endured, my brother did not improve even in slightest. Every day he rebuked me, calling me a beast, a donkey, a mule, and all sorts of other insults he could think of. I always responded, "That is true, brother. I am indeed as you say." But this did not calm him. Instead, he reviled me even more harshly and angrily declared, "One could only prey upon your beard." To which I replied, "Yes, brother, as you say." Such things continued for 2 months. Seeing no sign of his correction, I finally told him, "Brother, you cannot live with me." "Why not?" he asked. "Because in these 2 months have you restrained your anger even a little? I have advised you on how to behave, but you do not listen." The man became deeply offended by these words. He gathered up everything he could find in myself and prepared to leave. I said to him, "Why do you wrong me? You brought nothing with you. None of this is yours." But he would not listen and departed. Of course, I could have stopped him. I could have taken him to the monastery and locked him in the tower, but I remembered the gospel words. "And him that taketh away thy cloak, forbid not to take thy coat also." Luke chapter 6, line 29. "And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." Matthew chapter 6, line 12. So I forgave him in my heart and simply watched as he walked away, feeling sorrow for his wretched state. The poor man had not gone far when he collapsed on the road and became possessed. A demon tormented him for 3 months. Eventually, in some monastery, they read the gospel over him and he was healed. Later, he came back to me to ask for forgiveness and brought 10 left as an offering. I said to him, "I forgive you even without them, but you must see for yourself how you will justify yourself before God." And with that he left. When they spoke about the sorrowful circumstances for one of my acquaintances, the elder said, "Out of weakness one may turn to doctors and follow their advice, but it is better to surrender entirely to God, accepting whatever is His will, while also serving Him through almsgiving and various good deeds. If a wife dies, one should not grieve, for death is inevitable regardless. Perhaps the Lord has prepared this particular time for her. It may be that He found her in such a state that if she dies now, she will be saved. The Holy Fathers write that death, at times, is beneficial for us. One should not be disturbed, but rather surrender to the will of God. The parents of Father Grigorios were very wealthy. His only surviving brother was once punished by the Lord for the sins of greed and avarice. The elder wrote to his brother asking him to send at least a small portion of what he possessed, as he had no handicraft and was in extreme need of everything. However, his brother did not heed his request, even though the elder urged him to abandon the sin of covetousness. Then the Lord chastised him. Thieves robbed his store and took all his belongings, and his wife was left crippled. When his brother wrote to Father Grigorios about what had happened, the elder replied with a warning. This is how the Lord has admonished you, and if you do not abandon your passion, he will bring your life to an end. The, the old age of a life of constant asceticism finally coffined the elder to a sickbed. Having neither a companion nor a disciple, he could not send word of his illness to the Moldovan skit. By chance, the desert dweller, Father Callistos, who lived not far from him, visited him and, upon learning of his condition, began to visit him frequently. The elder gradually weakened, and he surrendered his soul to the Lord in solitude. He was buried near his hut. The elder Father Grigorios reposed in the year 1873.